What's going on, you guys? So I want to start this off by showing off the Exit Eternal Matters. From the first glance, you would probably think that this was Minecraft or related to Minecraft. It's definitely inspired by Minecraft, but this isn't Minecraft. This is his own game, completely separate, and it's not even done by any of Microsoft Studios or the developers of Minecraft. This is just its own title. The trailer shows off a little bit of CGI story footage, and then afterwards you see a lot of platforming here and there. I'm really into platformers, and this one looks a little bit more unique. It is out right now, is on pretty much every platform that you can get it on between PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So it has a lot of cutscenes, definitely a story here that you're going to be following when playing this. So if you're into Minecraft or maybe like the Lego games, I don't know why it just reminds me of that, you probably will have a good time with this. I look forward to playing this myself. It looks very interesting and I really appreciate the art style. Alright, so here's Ravenswatch. Now this is a top-down roguelike action game that combines intense real-time combat with deep gameplay and high replay value. You're probably used to playing something like Diablo, or maybe if you want to go back in the day, a little bit of Marvel Alliance, you know. In this game, you're going to take characters that you're used to seeing in the past from stories, different movies, possibly you know, bedtime stories or stories that you probably heard from school. Some of the characters involve like Beowulf, Aladdin, and they take these type of characters and they put them in this game, and then, you know, they change their characters slightly just to fit the atmosphere in the game. They have special powers as they build themselves up and level up, which is things that you might be used to if you used to playing like role-playing games like this. These are really popular games on the PC side. The action is something that you're probably used to if you are used to playing Diablo. You get a lot of abilities to choose from and you get to level up your characters. You can play this solo, but obviously it shines in co-op, and the co-op is up to 4 players. When you're co-oping, you can form strategies with your players to do really cool moves, and once you develop your character to the max level, you can really show off some cool fatalities. So this is going to be a very cool game. All right, here is Supplice. Now if you are into old school first-person shooter games, twin stick shooters, you know, like Doom or maybe Quake, this is right up your alley. It has that nice art style that you're familiar with from old school PC games and even PlayStation 1. This is, you know, just your typical shooter. You're running around shooting up all the monsters, action packed. You're very used to this if you're into that. If you're not, this is a great one to get into because it is mimicking those old school games. You can have a lot of fun with this. It's just good old fashioned action shooter, and you're just taking out as many enemies as you can. So definitely take a look into this one. Here's a character here that's more popular nowadays due to the MCU, but this is Tiny Thor, not connected to the actual Marvel universe, but you get to actually play as Thor in his younger days, and he's running around with his hammer. And this is a side-scrolling action game here that's got some dungeon crawling, and you really get to utilize your hammer in a lot of creative different ways. Jump around and play around with this and go through a lot of different obstacles. This version of Thor does have some 16-bit retro graphics, something that a lot of people are used to from back in the day, and this gives you that type of feel with a classic character in his original format. If you look at him, he looks just like how he looked when he was first introduced. You get to go through some challenging levels filled with a lot of different obstacles. This is planned for the second quarter of this year, and there's a demo out right now, so go have a lot of fun with it. Alright, so you might be thinking this is an Ice Climbers remake or maybe remaster, but no sir, this is called Bread and Fred. Nintendo has a lot of IPs that they won't make new games for. Well, it looks like somebody's making a game that's similar to one of their oldest IPs, which was the Ice Climbers. But this is Bread and Fred. This is a co-op game where you're jumping and you're trying to climb a big ice mountain, and you have to work together with your co-op partner or you will fall and fall and fall and fall, and it's quite hilarious. first and it looks like it's really brutal falls, but you get back up and you try again, and it looks like a lot of fun. Looks like a really cool retro style co-op game, and I will have a lot of fun with this when I play it, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it as well. Here is Itorah, and you play as this little character with a nice big axe, and you're basically doing some side scrolling hack and slash as well as some light platforming and dungeon crawling. It's right up my alley. I really like this type of game. It does remind me of Tiny Thor a little bit, just what I was talking about before, because you're doing moves where the axe moves and it comes back to you similar to the hammer. But with this one, it's a little bit different. Obviously, you're not gonna have the same moves as what Thor had in that little game, but you have your own little adventure here. It does have its cutscenes, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna have really good boss battles as well. I've seen a few of them so far, and I really was liking what I saw. You play with your character, overcoming all the obstacles from the platforming. There are going to be challenges here and there when you're platforming, as well as the boss fights. So I'm looking forward to this game, and I want you guys to check this out as well. So here is Arto, and if you are a fan of hack and slashers or a fan of action RPGs, this is right up your alley, and we have a nice little twist on it because it puts a lot of emphasis on different variety of colors going through the biomes. So if you are big into being artistic and you like to see a lot of colorful artwork, this game is right up your alley. You get to see a lot of art in motion while playing a hack and slasher. This is something I haven't really seen before. I'm looking forward to this one. I hope you guys give this one a chance. I really like unique new games, and this is definitely a very unique one. Here's Little Kitty Big City. Now, Stray took the internet by storm last year. It even made it all the way into the Game of the Year category. Everyone was showing off their cats, watching them play the game, and little things like that. After that, that was pretty much it, and we didn't really hear anything else from it. Well, now we have this game, Little Kitty Big City, and you get to basically do some of the same things, but I don't believe you have the same kind of story. You just literally a cat in a big city, just running around, having fun, doing cat things. I'm here for it. I think a lot of people are probably going to hop on this if they still want that fix of a cat game. Stray was very successful. I would imagine this one is going to be just as successful, probably not as much as Stray because there was a certain popularity there with it, but I think this will be a strong number 2. Who knows, if this game catches on as well, you may end up seeing a lot more cat games, but this looks really funny. It's just you play as this black cat and he's just running around getting into stuff, and so I do think this one's going to catch on to cat lovers, and hey, here's another game. You know, Jet Set Radio was an absolute classic. A lot of people go back to that game from time to time. It's definitely a beloved game that everybody wanted to have some sequel to, something more modern, and you didn't really get that. But here's a game that looks so similar, and this is called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Maybe one day we'll actually get the real thing to come back. This is a nice alternative to Jet Set Radio for modern day audiences. This will be an exciting game to move around and just have clean fun. I'm excited about the traversing in this game. It looks like you're going to be able to scale a lot of different areas while you're skating, and you're going to explore a nice looking world with this art style. All right, so here is Tape to Tape. Now this one is hilarious. It's pretty much hockey. You guys know how hockey goes, but it's actually a roguelike hockey game, and everybody's attacking each other. It's hilarious. You could just straight up throw your whole stick at a whole nother person and knock them out on the floor. It's just crazy. You just build up your team and you go through all the way until you win all the games, or you can just have good old-fashioned games, just having a fun time with some friends. They're definitely taking some liberties here that you wouldn't normally see on a hockey ring, but hey, whatever, have some fun with this one and knock out your opponent, I guess. Alright, so here is Crymachina. Now, if you are into JRPGs or anime style games, this is right up your alley. This one is an action RPG. You do a lot of hack and slash combat in this game, and you also use a gun. The main premise of this game is that you play as mechanical girls who are trying to become real humans, quote unquote real humans. Not sure what that means, but I guess they are trying to be real. Maybe that's something like a Pinocchio kind of thing, who knows, but the game has cutscenes to go with its story, and you can use a lot of big powerful moves when you're in the combat. So this is right up my alley, and I will be checking this one out. All right, here's the one game that I pulled from the Nintendo Indie Show, the only game that really stood out to me the most from that show, and this is Blasphemous 2, and it's pretty much what you would expect: hack and slash glory, side scrolling action, the stuff that I'm used to, the stuff that I love the most. And this game looked really good, and you're doing all types of cool moves in the air, on the ground. You're really, you know, just showing off flashy special attacks while fighting bosses, while just going throughout the world and discovering all types of monsters. I had to put some shine on it from the show. This is available on multiple platforms. I would say definitely check this out. Check out the first one as well. This is an awesome title. Now here is Cannon Dancer Osman. Now this one is actually not new. This is an older arcade title, but it's being modernized for current consoles. You got a lot of cool kung fu type action going on. You do a lot of kicks in this game, and it's very flashy. You know, it has that arcade style to it, arcade feel to it, so you can tell from the graphics and some of the explosions in it that it's like really action packed. So I'm really into this. This got to be like one of the best looking ones. I'm really glad that they decided to bring this back and remaster it. I'm pretty sure the next generation didn't know this exists and never had a chance to play it, so I'm all here for bringing back the cool arcade games and putting them on modern consoles if they're really good, and this one looks fantastic. All right, so here's Disney's Speedstorm. Now you already know what I'm going to compare this game to, but if you want an alternative to that game, let's say on a whole nother system outside of the Nintendo Switch, I think you can still play this on the Switch, but if you wanted something like this on, let's say, PlayStation, PC, or Xbox, you could play this there and get the same experience compared to that game. We're not going to mention it. I guess we'll mention it, Mario Kart. But this one is, you know, it's just like that, but it has all of the Disney characters in there, or at least, you know, the most popular ones they picked from different franchises within Disney. And, you know, you get to play and do the same thing you would do in Mario Kart. You know, you customize your car and you know, drive the tracks and you blast your enemies with little attacks here and there, and then you just, you know, win the race. You can also do the multiplayer aspect as well. So Mario Kart has been dominant for a really long time, and maybe it's cool to have some more competition out there for it. Maybe somebody else can come and bring something else to that genre, you know, a different perspective on those type of fighter racers or whatever, and I'm here for it. I would like to see how this is. I am going to be checking this out, probably on a different system from the Nintendo Switch. What's going on, you guys? This is Supreme King here with another video. If you like what you see so far, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be working on another one. I'm going to try to do this once a month to showcase games that I'm looking forward to, the things that's on my radar. And other than that, I got a couple more games for you here, so stick around for these. These are some of the best ones that I liked from the entire list. I will catch you on the next video. Peace. Here's a really cool game here. This is Ravenlok, and you can look at this game and you can see some of the Zelda Breath of the Wild influences on it, but this one has a lot more of an emphasis on big boss battles. So you're going to encounter a lot of bosses here and there when you're traversing throughout the world. This is still an action adventure game. You're doing a lot of hack and slashing with your sword and shield, and when you look at it, there's a little details here and there, like the bomb system that clearly takes its influences from Breath of the Wild. This is mainly on the Xbox ecosystem. I have not seen a game like this on Xbox in a while, so it's cool to have that there as an alternative if you are somebody who played Breath of the Wild, or you've already played it by now and you're playing Tears of the Kingdom when it comes out. This comes out like right before it, so maybe you can run through this right before you play Tears of the Kingdom. There's a lot of different places that you're going to travel to in this world. It's very colorful, it's very pretty. You play as this little girl that kind of looks like Dora the Explorer to me and it's kind of cool. Maybe that's what the influence was. It's like, hey, let's take Dora the Explorer and put her in Breath of the Wild and then add some action and hack and slash and then boom, put it together. But I don't know if that was the thought process, but you could definitely see all the references here and there. And this one's going to be really cool, and it is day one on Game Pass. All right, here is Vengeance of Mr. Peppermint, the most hilarious title. But as you can see, you're playing this dude who is just pissed off with everybody, and he is gonna knock everybody out. He's gonna punch and bash their face in, and you're gonna see blood everywhere. It's really cool. It's a 2D, like crazy game. Originally, it reminded me of Sifu in a way, but it's like, no, it's not so much Kung Fu. It's just beat 'em ups, and it's just really raw. You're just knocking everybody out and really tearing them apart, and this is hilarious. So yeah, I can't wait to play as Mr. Peppermint, and I guess he's got something to prove, or he's sick and tired of whatever's going on, and he's gonna knock everybody out to get to where he needs to go. And so I'm all here for this. Let me tell you, when I first saw this footage, I had to do a double take like 2-3 times really, because I thought this was like a trailer that was like really captured by an actual person, an actual body cam on the person, and it actually isn't. This is actually all in-game footage. This is called Unrecord. You know, you look at it and you think, yeah, this is real, but it's not. This is the most realistic looking game I've ever seen. I thought Hellblade 2 was ultra realistic. I think this one takes it up a little bit more of a notch over that game, and I was just blown away by just the graphics alone. Obviously it's still, you know, first person shooter, and it's done in a found footage style. You know, it reminded me of some of those found footage horror films or whatever, because that's kind of how it was shot. And I was looking at it and I was just like, yo, this is real. It's not a render. But I was wrong. It was actually a render. I was like, what? I think I found out about it after I saw the footage. I was like, yo, this was a render that whole time? That's insane. That's really insane. And so it's amazing where we have gone, you know, as far as technology is going, because this is going to be awesome. This is going to be really awesome when it finally comes out. I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, you're going to have like some beefy hardware in order to pull this off, to get this visual. You know, maybe if you have something that's a little bit more low end, a budget friendly PC, it may end up looking a little bit less realistic. But if you got the highest end hardware, this is going to be one of the most ultra realistic games you ever play. And I'm definitely gonna play it. It's not a question. I'm definitely gonna play it. I'm definitely gonna upgrade for this game alone. All right, and last but certainly not least, this is After Image, and this one is probably one of the coolest games on this list for me. I love the art style here. It is hand-drawn Metroidvania style. This has a huge emphasis on fast-paced combat, a lot of sword play here. You will be playing in a fantasy-like setting with a lot of storylines, and there's going to be countless sword fights and battles, boss battles everywhere, and you're just pulling off really cool flashy moves with your character here. In some cases it reminds me of Smash Brothers a little bit, just from the movement alone, and I really like it. I love this type of gameplay. You can really diversify your character's build with a lot of different weapons, swords, a lot of crafting, a lot of customization that you can add to your arsenal. I like the fantasy aspect here. There's going to be a big strong emphasis on fantasy when it comes to the storylines. I'm interested in the story that they're presenting here too. Fantasy driven games are usually really cool. They're epic. With a good story mixed with good combat, you really have a solid game. So this game is available now on all systems, current and last gen, as well as PC. You'll be able to play this anywhere you want. So that's all I have for you here. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already. I will be doing another one like this most likely next month, so stick around for that, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.